Mr. Speaker, on another Unfair Elections Act front, today in committee my questioning of CRTC lawyers confirmed my suspicions of a huge loophole in C-23's voter contact registry scheme that was supposed to prevent fraudulent calling to voters. Live calls by a party's internal services are not covered. So Conservative Party phone banks can live call Canadians during elections with no oversight. To the Minister, is this massive omission deliberate?
The Honourable Minister of State for Democratic Reform.
It is not an omission, and yes, it is deliberate, Mr. Speaker. Let me tell you why. What he's talking about are the regular calls that are made by volunteers out of local campaign offices every single day. So when you have a small, for example, lawn sign committee that puts out signs in a day, and a volunteer in the office, who's usually a senior, makes about 5 or 10 calls to go put out lawn signs, this member across the way thinks that she should have to fill out a bunch of forms with a national telecommunications register. How do you expect to encourage people to get involved in democracy when you bury them in that kind of
Speaker, I'd like to address the misleading answer just given by the Minister. The whole question of whether or not phone banks should be covered has nothing to do with volunteers in the local level. It's all about Central National Party data banks. It's also about the Central National Party data bank that will be making all the fundraising calls that are exempted from the expense limit under this Act that the Minister said would be covered by the voter contact registry scheme. And it is not. Why is the Minister misleading Canadians?
Mr. Speaker, the member is indeed wrong, and very wrong again. There are 3 types of calls. There are automated calls, which must be registered under the Fair Elections Act. There are telemarketing calls, which are probably the largest number, and they involve hiring professional firms who do tens of thousands, in fact hundreds of thousands of calls. Those calls must be registered and the scripts retained. Then there are calls that are done by parties themselves, almost exclusively by volunteers. They do include the volunteer calls, the types of which I just described, and no, we're not going to bury these people in red.